has been paid for by the WZWA network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA network, and welcome to our continued coverage here of WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania week here on the WZWA network, as I give you my review here of NXT Stand and Deliver from April 1st, 2023, from the Crypto.com arena in Los Angeles, California. Look, here we go. 3 to go. I've done 4 shows. I've got 3 to go. NXT, followed by the 2 days of WrestleMania. So I tuned in and found out whilst I'm watching NXT on Binge here in Australia. We don't have Peacock, we have Binge. We're in the middle of a match as I tune in. I didn't realize that there was a match on the pre-show. And that pre-show match had Chase U taking on Schism or Schism. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Which features Tyler Bate, Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, and Tia Hall against Joe Gacy, Jagger Reed, Rip Fowler, and Ava, aka The Rock's daughter, in this 8-person mixed tag team matchup. So, look, I haven't kept up with NXT. I don't know what's going on, but apparently if Schism win this match, then they get control over Chase U. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if you can have a pre-show and Stand and Deliver, then surely you can have the Andre the Giant Battle Royal the day of WrestleMania on that pre-show. How hard is that? Why is that a problem? I swear to God, in a few hours when I watch WrestleMania, if that pre-show has nothing on it, no matches, there's going to be a problem. I'm going to do nothing about it because there's nothing I can do. But anyway, Chase U versus Schism. I got to give Thea, I got to give her some props. She's awesome, man. She's really cool as a character. She's so authentic and into what she does. Cool seeing The Rock's daughter Ava in the match. Finally gonna see a wrestle, you know. So the match got underway. Booker T calling what's his name again? Tyler Bate. That's right, Tyler Bate. You know, strong boy. Like Booker T's is great, man. Duke Hudson is in this match. He's worn a lot of different character hats since debuting. So it was interesting to see what was going to take place here, considering the drama that took place later in the match. I feel like poor Andre Chase, right? He's copped so much shit for so long in NXT. He needs something nice, and he got something nice here. Chase, you were on the ropes here. I didn't really know the storyline. So that's my fault for not watching the weekly show. But again, I don't have much time to do stuff like this. I only have to do stuff like this on WrestleMania weekend, where I am pretty much reviewing 7 shows in 4 days. Ridiculous. So it looked like Duke Hudson was going to turn on Schism. He did, but then it was a fake turn. It was like when Devon Dudley was going to turn on Bubba Ray to go with Teddy Long and Rodney Mack, and he did not. Why is it always that a black man has to get the table? You know, that was a really cool moment back in the day. But this was excellent, and good to see Chase U go over, because good to see Andre Chase win something nice for once. And I really popped for the fact that the finishing move was called the Fratliner. Classy dad joke right there. Chase U wins. Very nice. Let's get on with the main show. And I want to let you all know that this aired at 1 a.m. my time. It is 4:34 a.m. right now. It's taken me about 40 minutes after the show to get myself organized to record this. So I hope you'll fucking appreciate what I'm doing right now, okay? I've had nearly a whole bottle of wine. So yes, I'm a little bit tipsy. I'm a little bit under the weather. But here we go. Opening the show. The main show here, Stand and Deliver. women's multi-ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship. I am so done with multi-person ladder matches after what happened at Ring of Honor. Check out my Ring of Honor review with Juicy Boy. You can see exactly how I feel about multi-person ladder matches these days, because it's getting so dangerous now that poor Dante Martin's foot was turned the other way after that final spot he was involved in. I am so over this. They happen more than several times a year. It's boring. But these ladies did a good job. Zoe Stark, Indi Hartwell, Gigi Dolin, Tiffany, Stratton. You know, beforehand, I used to froth over Gigi Dolin, but I think Tiffany might have a beat right now. Lyra Valkyria, and Roxanne Perez, who's defending the belt here. I don't know. This was a strange situation for Roxanne, because I don't understand what the payoff was of her passing out after the last match at the last NXT special. So let's get to my notes. I like Roxanne's new hair. Very cool. You know, every chick in NXT has a different hairstyle, you know, or a different style going on. But I really thought, you know, this match needs JC Jane. It needs Cora Jade. But I know Cora's injured, but still, I thought to myself, JC Jane should be in this. One of the highlights of everything in my whole life was the fact that Tiffany Stratton's got a hungry bum in this match, and it was eating her tights. So thank you very much, Tiffany, for that. Look, I've had a bottle of wine, whatever. She's hot. I liked the spot with Gigi doing the Terry Funk with the ladder. And I bet she knew that when she was doing it. I bet she already knew that it was a Terry Funk spot. I bet. I really wanted Tiffany to win. She got spined on the ladder by Indi Hartwell hard. Her poor, cute butt, man. Seriously, that's what I wrote. If she needs help with that, I can help. Oh, look, I'll get over it soon. The ladies were going for it, man. And to be honest with you, it feels like the NXT ladies still get more time than the main roster ladies. I think, again, Tiffany Stratton's vocal selling is excellent. Every time something happens, you can hear her a mile away. I thought Roxanne might pass out again on her way climbing up the ladder. It felt like it was a little bit against Roxanne here because of the whole story from the previous special. It felt like the finish of this match had literally nothing to do with her. You know, Gigi got attacked by JC as she was close to winning the championship or grabbing the belt in this match. And JC Jane is hot when she's bad. But like, it felt like Roxanne ended up being a little bit of an afterthought, because, you know, look, I wanted Tiffany to win because I was expecting, if the belt was going to change hands, that a heel was going to win the belt, right? Tiffany takes this bump from the ladder to the outside, and the girls barely caught her, and she hit real hard on the outside. So I hope she's okay. I have not watched the recent TV show, so I don't know what's going on. Indi Hartwell was the last one standing. Dexter Loomis shows up. That's a very nice thing. And he helped her get the win. When she won, I got goosebumps because she's Australian. So it was really nice to see an Australian find some success there. She's been there a while. She's, you know, worked very hard. But at the same time, this felt a little bit out of nowhere for me. You know, Roxanne was like the story, and then all of a sudden she felt like an afterthought. But still, very cool to see Indi Hartwell become NXT Women's Champion. I liked after this that we cut backstage. Carmelo Hayes is walking in his outfit, and Trick Williams is with him. And then we cut to Bron Breakker walking in with his suit on. Very cool. You know, E for effort. Let's move forward. NXT men's tag team titles. The Creed brothers, Tony AT. AT, how you fucking doing, Tone? How you fucking doing? How you fucking doing, Tone? And Stacks taking on Gallus to go after the NXT tag team titles. I knew going in, I was like, Gallus is going to retain. It felt like it was a tornado tag team match for some of the matchup, because it seemed like we weren't worrying about tags, but then they did start worrying about it. Honestly, it does feel like that they care more about tag team wrestling in NXT. There was a spot where Julius Creed was just suplexing the shit out of a bunch of people. He's a beast, mate. But you know what? It was good to see Stacks getting a chance to show what he can do instead of just being the lackey for APA Focadouton. Look, okay. There was this amazing looking spot that could have been amazing on the outside of the ring, where there was a double doomsday, right? One guy was on one guy's shoulders. I can't remember who. And then there was another guy on the top guy's shoulders. 3 guys on shoulders. Brutus comes off the top rope and completely misses all of them, and they still bump. You know why they didn't do an instant replay? Because Brutus missed them by a fucking country mile. As we got towards the end of the match, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey's brother, member of Gallus, showed up to get involved. I'd wondered where he went. He got involved, and it helped Gallus get the win. So, and then you know what? They should have retained, because it's too soon for them to drop the belts. Let's move forward. 5-way for the NXT North American Championship. JD McDonagh, Axiom, Ilja Dragunov, Dragon Lee, and Wes Lee, the defending champion. I was a bit about this because I'm sick of multi-person matches. I had enough of it with ROH. I had enough of it with Impact versus NJPW. It's enough. Fuck. I know you got to fit people on these shows, but Jesus, it was 4 multi-person matches in a row. We hadn't had one singles match yet. We need our palate cleansers. First note, Dragon Lee's tights were too small. And I did not complain about that with Tiffany Stratton, but Dragon Lee, I could see that man ass a bit too much. This is Dragon Lee's chance to show what he can do. It's his debut. You know, he's got a bit of hype behind him. But Wes Lee is so as a character, great wrestler, but his character just needs a bit more zhuzh, something more exciting. Time wore on in this match, you know, and you know, at first I wasn't really paying a lot of attention, right? But then there was a nice acai moonsault from JD McDonagh. And then there was a spot in the ring where someone was very close to getting a near fall, and as it went for 3, Ilja Dragunov slid in and grabbed the referee's hand to stop counting 3. That was really cool. And props to Dragunov for his facial expressions, man. This guy's got great facial expressions. I don't know if you've really noticed it, anyone out there, but this guy really, I think he could be a player because he's so intense. He's a maniac. And facial expressions are everything in the WWE. Axiom did his one thing in the match that I was into, which was a nice, safe moonsault to the outside, caught very well by his opponents. So initially, yes, I wasn't very keen on this, but this was very good. I thought Ilja sold that DDT amazingly from Axiom. That there was a moment with JD McDonagh, which I don't know, all 3 of them were involved in. He ended up copying this DDT, and then the look on his face when he fucking sprung out of that DDT was like he was completely fucked up. This is the difference between AEW, NXT, Ring of Honor, etc. Whatever Tony's in charge at NXT or WWE, people care about pinfalls, the ladder match. People cared about climbing the fucking ladder to try and retrieve the fucking belt. Ring of Honor, no one cared about it. They were just worried about the next spot, right? This is the problem, all right? People cared for pinfalls. It was pinfall, pinfall, pinfall central. You do a multi-man match in another company like AEW or Ring of Honor, they don't have the quality control to make sure that, hey guys, we need to make sure that the important thing that we worry about here is you want to win the match. You want to fucking win. Wes Lee was doing some flippy shit in the air, and Axiom kicked him in the fucking face in midair. The golden ratio, they call it. That was nuts. So again, the difference is WWE shit is agented properly, and the workers listen to what they're told instead of doing whatever they want. Listen to what Hangman Page had to say about getting advice. And he said that I don't listen to anyone, I figure it out for myself. Well, here's the fucking difference, okay? Here's the difference. They have a fucking multi-person ladder match here, the ladies. Crazy shit happened. Did anyone get hurt? No. The last two multi-person ladder matches that Ring of Honor and AEW have had, Sammy Guevara nearly fucking died, and Dante Martin's foot was facing the other fucking direction, okay? I don't mean to like get too overboard with it, but Jesus fucking Christ, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Someone's gonna fucking die if you people don't start listening to these veterans and listen to them, and they will tell you don't do shit like this. Don't look. I'm sorry to go for a sidebar, but Dante Martin did not need to take a destroyer off a ladder that was attached to another ladder through 4 tables by a guy that could have just pushed him through the tables, and then him and Ray Phoenix could just climb the ladder together to grab the belts. Why would Penta put himself through that, knowing that, hey, there's more of an advantage of me and Ray climbing the ladder than me knocking myself the fuck out by going through 4 tables? Like, this is the nonsense that I'm talking about with wrestling. I fucking can't stand the nonsense that these guys do just to fucking outdo the last multi-man ladder match that no one fucking remembers anyway, because this shit's a dime a dozen. We see this shit fucking all the time. Every few months there's another multi-man ladder match. It gets fucking boring. People get fucking hurt. Poor Dante, you know, and I'm sure he agreed to the spot. And I'm going on a rant here, but shit, dude. I'm still fucking upset about it all these hours later after watching it. I just don't think that they have the quality control in those companies, and that the workers are actually fucking listening to the agents, because there's no kingdom of fear there. All right. You need a bit of a kingdom of fear, because if you don't listen to them, then you're not going to get your fucking push. You're not going to get a fucking win on TV. You're not going to get shit. Right. So they need to fucking make sure that Tony's a boss and everyone under him is a boss as well, and that those guys listen to them and fucking do as they're told, instead of doing what they fucking want and hurting one another. I'm sorry for getting way too overboard with that, but fuck, man, that I can tell that's what the fucking situation is. Anyway, one thing that WWE and NXT do is great camera work when there's a near fall and you think it's going to be 3, but the camera work is so focused on the pinfall, you don't see the 2 guys jumping in to fucking break up the pinfall. So that really helps with the suspense. You need that suspense. Wesley ends up retaining in style. Got to give him props. He's a good wrestler, but the character really needs some work, and that's a WWE problem, not a Wesley problem. They need to find out a way to make baby faces fucking interesting. Let's move forward. We've only got 3 to go here. Grayson Waller, Johnny Gargano. Who would have thought that we would have come full circle with this, because no one knew what was going to happen with Johnny after he left NXT and the WWE. He made the right decision, trust me, because people over there don't get seen on TV for fucking weeks at a time. Wardlow lost the TNT belt a couple days after beating Joe for it. Hasn't been on TV for nearly 30 days. Sorry, terrible follow-up, just like when he beat MJF and he did nothing afterward. Sorry, I expect more from them. And I should stop fucking referencing them. Grayson Waller, Johnny Gargano. Here we go. This is Gargano's NXT swan song. And I'm telling you, this thing ain't over, because I bet you Grayson Waller follows him to the main roster and keeps this thing going. If they were smart, this is a good way to bring Grayson up and make Johnny interesting on the main roster. I did really laugh at the beginning where Johnny was doing a dive to the outside and he just got a fucking trash can to the face. But, you know, when I think about Grayson Waller going on the main roster, I think to myself, where will he fit in on the main roster when it's so stacked? 2 brands. Pay-per-views are only 5 or 6 matches long because they plod along so slowly on the shows and give every match 25 fucking minutes. You know, the fact that Lashley does not have a match at WrestleMania, Karrion Kross does not have an angle or match at WrestleMania, LA Knight does not have an angle or match for WrestleMania. Bronson Reed, you know, a lot of people could have angles and matches because you know what? Not every fucking match needs 20 minutes. It really doesn't hurt. Look at the matches. Look at the pay-per-views back in the day. They used to stack shows like WrestleMania 17 full of matches, and it was still only 3 hours long. Now we have 2 days, and they're probably going to go 4 hours long each. Come on, man. There was a suplex off the apron onto chairs, which was absolutely fucked up. That would have hurt so bad. Waller and Johnny really put themselves through the fucking hard yards here. Rolling stunner on Johnny, and then that was followed with a fucking sweet powerbomb through a table. Who doesn't love a powerbomb through a fucking table, man? And it's such a relief after these last few days to see a table used. Everyone's using doors now. It's so nice to see a table. I hope WWE never used doors. Waller was desperate for the pin after hitting that powerbomb. That's how it works. He grabbed Johnny. He threw him in the ring. He rushed into the ring to get that pin because that's what it matters most. That's the whole point, is to try and get a pin. That's, again, I'm sorry to sidebar again and pick on AEW, but half the time, no one's trying to pin anyone. No one's trying to climb a ladder. No one's trying to win a match. All you can see is that they're planning their next fucking spot. It's not how wrestling works. Wrestling's evolved. Shut the fuck up, dickhead. You fucking cock smoker. Loved Candice LeRae at ringside with the baby. She hands the baby over and she gets over that fucking railing and she fucks up Grayson Waller with that kendo stick. And just as Grayson Waller thinks he's got her right where he wants her, fucking Johnny hits him in the back with another kendo stick. Grayson's back was fucked up. This is his comeuppance for being a prick. This is what happens to proper heels. Coast to coast by Grayson. Looked like he was going to win. Johnny kicked out. Waller went through the announce table. Very rough looking bump. Gargano kicked out of the roll through the ropes into the stunner thing. But it was time for Johnny to get fucking vicious. Johnny Gargano showed a vicious streak and he fucking locked in whatever the name of the submission hold is, locked it in. Waller tapped. It was over. That was match of the show. Main event could have been, but sorry, Johnny versus Grayson Waller stole the show. Backstage, Tony and Stacks. Hey, Theo, you fucking do a tone. With not pretty deadly, pretty annoying. I think they were. Every time that they were doing hosting stuff, I went to do a wee. I went and chatted to someone on Messenger. I was doing other shit. Still not into them. Anyway, 2 matches to go. NXT Women's Tag Team Titles. Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn against Fallon Henley, and Kiana James. Remember, it's now 4:53 a.m. for me. I knew Henley and Kiana James weren't going to hold these belts very long because of the storyline. Because of the amount of red wine that's in my system. Most of my notes were going on about how hot Isla Dawn is. Isla Dawn is so sexy. Jesus Christ, Isla. Then I wrote, I bet this gets fuck all time. And it didn't. It didn't get very much time at all. One actual compliment on Alba Fyre that I'll give on what took place. Was it Alba? No, it was Isla Dawn. Isla, when she was thrown to the outside, the way that she flew over and managed to protect herself and land on the outside, she did that really well, and it was so ferocious. Look back at it if you can, because honestly, she really took herself to the outside very well. I knew there was a title change coming because it felt like Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn are more of a cohesive unit than Henley and James. And I don't know what's going on with Chance and Carter. I hope that they're not broken up yet. Like, they put a lot of time into them, so whatever. There was a title change. Because you know what? I was thinking to myself, if Isla Dawn could put spells on people, then just put a spell on these girls like you've put a spell on me, Isla. Uh, I love the story of like they wanted to win the match the right way, but I remember his name, Brooks Jensen. He wanted to fucking help cheat. He wanted to cheat with his partner, but that doesn't that sounds horrible. I mean, he wanted his partner to cheat to win the match. That's the whole point I'm trying to make here. But because his partner and her partner wouldn't allow it to happen, that's why they fucking lost. It should have fucking been a bad person and cheated. They lost the belts, new champs, and I also wrote, "Can I be one of the belts so I can be pressed against Isla Dawn's body?" Unbelievable. I'm sorry. It's brilliant, but get a grip, Carl. Okay, here we go to the main event of the evening. Bron Breakker defends the NXT Championship against Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams at ringside. He wasn't there last NXT special, so I was wondering what happened there. Good to see he's still with him. Trick will always be his hype man. He won't ever be a wrestler like Hayes. I've seen Trick wrestle a few times when we used to review NXT, and it was quite clear to me that I just don't think this guy's going to get it in the ring in that way. Maybe it might take some time. Look, hey, Mark Henry was not very good for quite some time, and then boom, he got it. And then he was brilliant. Then he was a main eventer. Then he was world champ. Then he was a Hall of Famer. It could happen to anyone. You know, sometimes it just clicks just like that. You're like, oh, now I get it. Okay, so like for me, when it comes to Bron Breakker, it's time to lose or time to turn heel, bro. It's time to go to the main roster or turn heel and stay in NXT and see how that works out. After this, Bron's got to go. Bron lost the match. Look, he lost the match. I'm not going to say anything else about that until the end, but he lost. So there's no reason for him to stay in NXT anymore. We can reconvene with Bron and Carmelo when Bron in 2 years' time is Intercontinental Champion. Carmelo's been NXT champion a few times over, goes to the main roster finally, and then all of a sudden we reconvene with them there. And then if they play their cards right, then maybe in 5 years' time, they're both main eventing WrestleMania for the world title and they're both over as fuck. Let's see. That's how you should look at it. You should look at Bron as Austin. You should look at Carmelo as Rock. And I'm just saying that because of their color. I'm saying it because Carmelo's got that kind of rock, swagger about him. Bron's got that badass stone cold thing about him. Has nothing to do about anything else other than that. That's why I say it. Anyway, loved Carmelo early in the match, springboarding into nothing. Bron just stands there like a brick wall. It was a great feeling out process between the two. This is where 2.0 was hitting its apex. This is what their fucking idea was at the beginning. Shawn Michaels said it. At some stage, it's going to be Carmelo and Bron right there. And then they got there right here today. So look, they look ahead. They think ahead. That's what's a good thing about NXT. They really do think ahead. It was very 50-50, Melo takes control, but then all of a sudden Bron hits this amazing Frankensteiner. And I have to give props to Vic Joseph and Booker T for a great call on this show. Almost as, for the best call for the last few days, I think Riccaboni, Nigel McGuinness, and Caprice Coleman. I think they've done the best call so far, but Vic and Book are very close behind them. Huge ref bump. Props to the ref for the bump. That was really cool. Recliner from Bron Breakker. Carmelo starts tapping out, bro. But some shenanigans got to take place. Trick had already been ejected in the match. He comes back out, clogs him with the belt. I don't know if Melo's going to like that when he figures out how it came about, but still. Huge lung blower out of the gorilla press, and then Carmelo hits the nothing but net. Trick was the trick, and Carmelo Hayes is the NXT champion. Bron raises his arm. this matter is over. Bron's got to go to the main roster. Carmelo Hayes, it's his time now at NXT. And for the first time ever, I actually feel like I'm into Carmelo Hayes and what he's doing. Remember, we reviewed NXT for fucking months after it debuted, the NXT 2.0. And all this time, even at the last event, I was like kind of anti-Carmelo. Did not like what he did on commentary at that show. But on this show right here, he kind of sold me a little bit. Reconvene with them both in a year and a half, 2 years with the Intercontinental Championship. Take your time with Bron Breakker. I'm saying it again. I don't want to harp on things I've said too many times. We've just hit nearly 30 minutes in this review. So I just want to say this. You bring Bron Breakker up to the main roster. Think about how you had Bret Hart, The Rock, Stone Cold. Put him in there. Maybe don't give him a shit gimmick like the ringmaster or Rocky Maivia with his big smile and his Samoan outfit. No, you bring him up, start him slow, maybe a little bit of a winning streak. Maybe that streak gets cut off by somebody quite prominent, whatever. Give it a year and a half. Maybe then all of a sudden he wins the Intercontinental Championship. Okay, you brought Bret in as a tag team wrestler. Okay, that helps with that story a bit more. And you always knew that Bret was going to be the star of the Hart Foundation. But you bring in Bron Breakker, you have him do this shit for a little bit, and then he wins the IC belt. And then maybe for like 2 years, he's involved with the IC belt. He wins it 2 or 3 times. He has these feuds. He has these great WrestleMania matches, maybe back to back. And then that's when you start to elevate him. And then maybe he wins King of the Ring. And by that point, maybe he's 29 years old. He's getting close to 30 years old. Or what? I think he's like 26. You get him to that point, and then that's when you start thinking about maybe putting him to that main event picture. You don't do like what you did with Sheamus, where the first month he was there, he was WWE champion. You don't do what you did with Roman Reigns, where you just fucking forced him into our fucking... Cody Rhodes was right. Year 8 was when it worked. Because you forced it. You just try to get it in there, you know? It was too much. Too much too soon. You don't want to do that, because you have to remember, these guys can make you money over a prolonged period of time, right? You need that journey to make that money. If you blow the load too early, then what story do you have to fucking tell with the next 10, 15 years that you got them on the roster? Oh, yay, he's an 8-time champion. Like, whatever. You got to take your time with guys like this. That's the only point I wanted to make to end this review. But hey, NXT Stand and Deliver here, 2023. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I actually think I enjoyed it more than anything else I've seen this weekend. I think I'm going to give this show an 8 out of 10. Really great stuff. You know, geez, I think highlight was Tiffany Stratton having a hungry bum and eating her tights as she was in the middle of wrestling. But I'm sorry, it's 5 a.m. and I'm tired and I'm a little bit drunk. But, you know, the main event, Carmelo and Bron was great, but Gargano and Grayson certainly stole the show. So there we go, everyone. There's my review here of NXT Stand and Deliver 2023. Really appreciate your time here for our WrestleMania coverage on the WZWA network. Please check out our store on ProWrestlingTees.com. Please buy a shirt. We need like another 20 orders in order to be able to put more designs up there. So if you feel like buying a shirt, that'd be really cool. But hey, here we go. We're at the tail end. Tomorrow, WrestleMania day 1, or today, sorry. And then, of course, the day after WrestleMania day 2. And then I'm done with reviews for a while. There'll be 7 reviews in fucking 4 days. So thank you all again for checking this out. Love yous. And guess what? I'll see you down the fucking road. Thank you.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA network.